My brother and sister, 99% of Muslims don't realize this. There is a surah in the Quran that can change your entire life, not with magic, not with shortcuts, but with the power of Allah's words. A surah that opens doors of rizq, removes hidden hardships, and fills your heart with barakah instantly. Most people overlook it, but today you're about to discover what countless believers are missing. Don't skip this. Your sustenance might change from this moment forward. Rizq is not limited to money. It includes peace of mind, emotional stability, opportunities, health, family, harmony, and the unseen blessings that Allah places in a believer's life. Many Muslims chase worldly means to increase their sustenance, but they forget that the true source of all rizq is Allah. When a person turns sincerely to the Quran, especially certain surahs known for opening the doors of provision, Allah places barakah in their life in ways they cannot measure. This surah becomes a means of expansion because it reminds the believer of Allah's power, mercy, and control over all affairs. When recited regularly, it strengthens tawakkul, complete trust in Allah. Instead of relying on people, a person begins relying on the one who owns the treasures of the heavens and the earth. This shift in the heart invites divine help. Through this surah, Allah removes hidden barriers that block rise. Anxiety, lack of clarity, sinful habits, and spiritual heaviness. As these obstacles disappear, the believer becomes more productive, more grateful, and more connected to Allah. And gratitude itself multiplies blessing. By Allah's permission, this surah brings unexpected opportunities, protects income from loss, and fills one's life with contentment. It is not magic. It is the power of Allah responding to a believer who turns to Him with sincerity, humility, and yaqeen. Many Muslims recite the Quran daily, yet few truly understand the depth of blessings hidden within certain surahs that Allah has placed as keys to spiritual and worldly success. The secret that most overlook is that the Quran is not only a book of guidance, but also a source of divine solutions. Within it are verses that open doors of rizq, remove hardships, and bring tranquility to the heart. But these treasures are only unlocked when one approaches the Quran with reflection, sincerity, and consistency. The reason the secret remains hidden is because people often recite mechanically, rushing through verses without understanding or connection. They search for help everywhere, except the very words that Allah sent as a mercy for every difficulty. This surah, known by scholars for its power to attract barakah, is often forgotten or underestimated simply because people do not realize its potential. The overlooked secret is that Allah's help is closest when the heart is closest to His book. Even reciting a single surah with awareness and trust can bring more benefit than hundreds of rushed recitations. The power lies not only in the surah itself, but in the believer's intention, humility, and belief that Allah responds. When Muslims rediscover this secret and reconnect deeply with the Quran, their rizq opens, their hearts soften, and their lives transform in ways they never imagined. One of the greatest spiritual realities that many Muslims forget is that the power of Quran recitation is not in the movement of the tongue alone. It is in the certainty, yaqeen, that fills the heart while reciting. Yaqeen is a firm, unshakable belief that Allah hears you, knows your needs, and will respond in the best way. When a believer recites a surah with this deep trust, the heart opens, worries ease, and blessings start unfolding instantly by Allah's will. Recitation with yaqeen transforms the Quran from mere words into a spiritual force that calms the soul and invites divine assistance. A person who recites while believing that Allah can expand their rizq, remove their problems, and guide their path experiences an immediate shift in their state. Their mind becomes clearer, their anxiety decreases, and their heart feels lighter. These are the first signs of blessings descending. Yaqeen also aligns your actions with your prayers. When you trust Allah completely, you stop doubting, complaining, or fearing the future. Instead, you move forward with confidence, knowing Allah is opening doors for you even if you cannot see them yet. This inner certainty attracts opportunities, solutions, and barakah in mysterious ways. Instant blessings do not always mean instant results. Sometimes Allah blesses your heart first, then your circumstances. But every word recited with yaqeen becomes a seed of mercy planted in your life, growing into guidance, provision, and peace by the permission of. Many people struggle with rizq not because Allah hasn't written enough for them, but because hidden barriers block blessings from reaching their life. These barriers can be emotional, spiritual, or even the result of one's environment. Stress, fear, laziness, sins, negative company, and a heart disconnected from Allah all limit the flow of barakah. This is why certain surahs of the Quran are known to clear the path. They purify the heart, strengthen faith, and remove the invisible obstacles holding a person back. When this particular surah is recited consistently, it works like a spiritual cleansing. It removes the heaviness that clouds judgment and keeps a person stuck in cycles of failure, confusion, or financial stagnation. The words of Allah soften the heart, break negativity, and replace despair with hope. As inner clarity returns, a person becomes more productive, more focused, and more aligned with what pleases Allah. Hardships also include trials meant to elevate a believer. This surah teaches patience, trust, and surrender to Allah's wisdom. By absorbing its lessons, a person stops resisting Allah's plan and starts flowing with it. That shift alone removes countless hardships. Most importantly, this surah brings a believer back to Allah. And when Allah is with someone, no hardship can trap them. The moment the heart is purified and barriers fall, doors of rizq open effortlessly, opportunities appear, help arrives, and blessings flow, all by the permission of the most generous. In a world where people chase wealth through endless effort, worry, and comparison, it is easy to forget the most essential truth. Rizq comes only from Allah. Jobs, businesses, and people are merely the means. The provider is Allah alone. This surah serves as a powerful reminder that no matter how difficult life becomes or how uncertain your future feels, your sustenance is already written, protected, and delivered by the one who never forgets his creation. When a believer returns to Allah with sincerity, the heart finds peace before the hands ever receive provision. Turning back to Allah means reconnecting through prayer, reciting the Quran with attention, removing sins that block barakah, and trusting that Allah's timing is perfect. The surah reminds us that Allah is the Lord of all worlds, and nothing is too small or too large for Him to provide. Returning to Allah also restores perspective. Instead of panicking over money, you begin to seek halal, rely on dua, and work with purity of intention. Allah then places blessing in your effort, something no amount of worldly strategy can replace. With Allah, even little becomes enough. Without Him, even abundance feels empty. This reminder is not a warning but a mercy. Allah invites His servants back to Him so He may open doors they never imagined. When you return to Allah for provision, He